Ugly.
Five.
Who are the best and who are the worst NFL teams? It's Mike Gill's Fine Five and Ugly Five on 97.3 ESPN FM, South Jersey's football station.
That's right, and the football continues tomorrow night. Cowboys, Vikings. That's the Thursday nighter. You can hear it on 97.3 ESPN. These are the Fine Five and the Ugly Five. They're the five best and the five worst teams in the NFL. And I think they're pretty distinct who the five best and five worst teams are. We might just have them in a little bit of a different order there, Josh Hennig.
It tends to be the pattern for us. We have typically the same teams, maybe one different, but they're almost never the same order.
I think it goes to show what the NFL is. It's parity. There's about three teams that really deserve to be the fines. There's five teams that deserve to be the uglies, and everybody else deserves to be in that big crock pot of stew.
In other words, they are who we thought they were.
That's right. Jets number 5 in my ugly 5, 3-8, lost 3 in a row. Minus 70 this year. The dubious number for them, they haven't even scored 200 points yet this year, and yet they've given up 266, and they were supposed to be a stout defense.
That's the big problem. You have all this super talent on defense, guys like Wilkerson and Richardson and Williams and Harris, and now you got an aging Revis, and it seems like this entire team is just falling apart defensively. Offensively, they're confusing as well, because you got all that talent at wide receiver, and the Jets are the example of if the one domino falls, the rest of them go as well, and that's what the Jets are. The Jets are a domino relay going round and round and round into hell.
What he said. Bears are 2-9, lost 3 in a row. They're a minus 86, dubious number. 0-6 on the road, 178 points for, 264 against. That's why you're the fourth team in the ugly 5.
Yeah, my fourth team is the Jaguars. We'll stick with the Bears for a second. You know, the Bears, I feel like they have a team that has potential if they could rebuild. You know, they have interesting running backs. They have some interesting pieces on the defensive side of the ball they added in free agency. But boy, they are the embodiment of a team that just did not draft well, Mike.
They haven't drafted well for years, hence you've been perennially a poor football team. Number 3 in my ugly 5, they are the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're creeping up. They might pass on by the end of the year. They've lost 6 in a row. Dubious number for them, 1-7 in the conference. 293 points they've given up with a defensive-minded head coach. And that 2-9 mark is going to get him fired!
Apparently, he's not defensive-minded enough because the only thing defensive about Gus Bradley is his explanations after games. This guy has an excuse for everything. No matter what went wrong in the game, he has an excuse for it. And if he doesn't have an excuse for it, he says, I don't know what happened there. Like, thanks, coach. Thanks for the great insight.
Remember, the Eagles fans wanted to go on the Gus bus.
Which bus would be worse, the Gus bus or the Peterson bus?
Well, it was the Kelly bus that ended up getting hired over the Gus bus.
The Kelly bus was certainly smart enough to always tell us how dumb we were.
Although he's not going to Oregon. It's not happening.
Yes, he confirmed that multiple times today, apparently.
Number 2, I'm going Cleveland, 0-12, 0-6 at home, 0-6 on the road, 0-4 in the division, 0-8 in the conference. They've given up 352. They're a minus 155. They've lost 12 in a row. But you know what they are that San Francisco's not? They're consistent. Those numbers right there tell the story of consistency. They are consistently bad every single week, and I like them for it.
You're consistently inconsistent.
They played hard again this week. They had a shot late in that game.
Again, they haven't won a game, so they're number 1 in my ugly because the 49ers almost beat the Dolphins in Miami. I mean, how insane is that?
The Browns almost beat everybody. They just, in the end,
right, don't get too carried away now.
What is the and by the way, San Francisco's number 1. They're 1-10. They haven't won since opening night. They've given up 344 points. They're a minus 116. They've lost 10 in a row. Cleveland's had some close losses this year.
Yes, they have, and there's only been twice this year they've been held under 7 points in the first half of a game, but they still haven't won a game, Mike.
Yeah. Their effort's what I'm looking for. I like heart. You can't. There's no meter for heart on John Madden football.
I haven't played. Were you good at Madden?
Yeah, I played Madden.
Were you good at Madden?
I was okay. I wasn't like the guy who won every single game. I was competitive, but I always said on that game when the meter like speed 98, power 97, I said, "Where's the meter for heart?" They don't tell you what kind of heart this guy has.
Where would Darren Sproles' heart be?
Yeah, he'd be
Off
like
the charts.
probably a 92.
I say a 95.
All right, fine 5 time now. They're the 5 worst. These are the 5 best. Number 5, checking in, the Oakland Raiders, 9-2, 5-0 on the road, 6-1 in the conference. The only thing and they've won 5 in a row. The only thing that worries me about them, why they're number 5 on this list, 275. That's the amount of points they've given up this year.
Raiders are on my list, but they're not at 5. I'm sticking with the Giants at 5. They just keep finding ways to win, and you got to give them credit for that. They'll probably end up making the playoffs, probably making a run, because every time they make the playoffs, they have a defense, and every time they make a run, they have a defense, and then randomly Eli will show up and make a play.
Kansas City's number 4. They're 8-3. But the number that sticks out for me is the 214, and that's the amount of points they've given up. They've got one of the best defenses in the league, and that's without Houston, who you saw what he adds to this defense. He's back, and the Chiefs, for me, stick at number 4 in the Fine 5.
Yes, you've been loyally behind the Chiefs from day one. I have not been, and they're still not in my Fine 5 again. At my number 4 are the Seahawks.
Just won at Denver.
They're at number 6 for me.
That's mighty kind of you.
What's all of the Falcons on my list? No, seriously, I have the Seahawks at 4 because after losing the way they did at the Bucs, I think they need to be dropped down. And I think at this rate, the Cowboys may end up with the number 1 seed in the NFC.
I think they will. I got the Cowboys at number 3. They're 10-1. 213 points against. Another really good stat for them, but the 316 points is one of the reasons why they've only given up 213. They control the ball. They've won 10 in a row. I still, like Dallas to me, I'm not knocking them. You know, I've been on Dallas a little earlier than most.
Yes, you were.
They just haven't really beat anybody all that good. Like they haven't had a really, really good win.
Well, that's subjective. I mean, the Steelers win was pretty big.
Sure. The Steelers are 500.
And they might still end up going to the Super Bowl.
Okay, but if beating a 6-5 team is your best win of the season, what does that say? You haven't had a great win. You're saying their best win is against a team that's 6-5 and not even in the playoffs right now, and that's your best win. You just proved my point.
But yeah, a few weeks from now, we'll look back and we'll see the Steelers are in the playoffs.
Maybe. Okay, if that's their best win, I'm not like if these. Okay, the Eagles beat the Steelers by what? 3 touchdowns? 4 touchdowns? And that's your best win? That's what you're trying to sell me. Your best win is against a team the Eagles beat 30-9?
Mike, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
Absolutely, but a 6-5 team, if that's your best win,
and I bet Pete doesn't know what movie that's from.
What? Good, Bad, and the Ugly? The music or the line?
No, the line I just used.
I didn't even hear the line that you just used because I'm not here to look up how many points the Steelers beat the Eagles by on my Genie box while you guys are arguing.
I got the Cowboys at 3.
My number 3 is the Raiders. They win at home. They win on the road. They win in Mexico. It doesn't matter. They just win. just win, baby.
Number 2, I've got Seattle. I know that was an ugly loss, only scoring 5 points. More on that later tonight with Amani Toomer. They tied a game with 6 points this year. These individual games during the course of a year don't really move me all that much. They won in New England. And those kind of wins are the ones that stand out more than losing a game like that to Tampa Bay. I remember, the Eagles winning the division in 2009, I guess it was. They went to Oakland and just had an awful game out there against the Raiders, who had Jamarcus Russell playing. That didn't prevent them from winning a division. They were still a pretty good team, and that's why I look at Seattle. They lost a bad game this week, but they're still probably the number 2 top 3 team in the league no matter what.
My number 2 team is the Cowboys until tomorrow night when they lose to the Vikings.
Hey now.
There's a lot of people that are on that Vikings train.
It's not about the Vikings train. It's just knowing that they're a bad matchup for the Cowboys.
And that the Cowboys look.
Because what do the Vikings have?
How many teams run the table? Not many.
What do the Vikings have the Eagles don't on defense?
What do the Vikings have
The answer would be PT secondary.
Yes. Safeties, cornerbacks.
So I
Not
think
Leotis
that's
Put that right on a tee
not,
for you.
Not Leotis McKelvin and his bad hamstring.
Number one, by the way, the Patriots.
absolutely.
They moved back to the top
Not
spot.
Jalen Mills and his finger wag.
96 points for them. They've only given up 197. I think their defense is something that always